Okay, I think we're live. Wubba lubba dub dub. All right, we just need to wait for. Okay, we got a thumbs up, so there's somebody in here with me. Hey, Steven. Hey, Tage95S. I got my Canon finally hooked up to my computer, so I can live stream with my HD camera. So the picture quality this month should be significantly better. Hey, Will P. Hey Peabody, how are you guys doing tonight? Last two live streams I did on a Saturday night, but I thought we'd mix it up and let's do it on a Monday. So hope everyone had a good Monday. Abnets, how are you doing? Jake Baker, good name. Hello from Minneapolis. Love Minneapolis. I went to college in Eau Claire, which is just east of Minneapolis. So lots of friends from the Twin Cities. Quality looks amazing. Good. I'm glad that we improved it from last month. My webcam for my iMac wasn't cutting it. Edward, good to see you. Travel and Invest, you made it. Good to see you as always. Julius Caesar, good name. Good evening. Jay Dion, good to see you. Hey, Mark Ryan. Hi from an Air Force vet currently living in Florida. Joel, greetings from New Jersey. Good to see you, Joel. Steven, Apple was horrendous today. Not a good Monday. I'm assuming you're talking about Apple's share price. Yeah, it was a red day in the market. There's just a huge sell-off occurring right now in the tech stocks. It's going to continue probably until the last week in October with the earnings reports all coming out, and then maybe with the Fed meeting. I think it's like November 2nd. But after that, tech will just rally. John, hello from Milwaukee. That's my hometown. I don't got the Milwaukee flag up today. I switched it up, but normally that flag in the background is the Milwaukee flag. Hey, so Dave, good to see you. My green caw plan to share 22 challenge licks with us. Yeah, I'm basically resetting all my accounts. I've got money spread between my Fidelity, my Schwab, and my Robinhood accounts. And I'm going to be doing different kinds of investing in each, but in Robinhood, I'm going to be doing another 25K brokerage account challenge where I'm going to try and actively trade to double my accounts, similar to how I did last January in my Schwab accounts. It took me 6 months to double from 25 to 50K. So my goal is to do that again under 6 months this time. So we'll see if we can make it happen. Good to see you, Carla. Hello from California. Charlie Bachman. Hi, Jake. I just got done with boot camp, and thank God I came back to your videos. Congrats. Which branch are you in, Charlie? Boot camp could kind of sounds like Army by default, but you could be maybe a Marine or I don't know, maybe Air Force. I guess enlisted people call it boot camp. Hey, Brandon Coco. Hello from your trading option students. Thanks for the great content. Thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate that. Jose Garcia, hey Jake, hey there from Puerto Rico. I really want to visit Puerto Rico someday. Eventually, I think I will make it. I have a friend who's been there a couple times, and he wants to plan a trip with me, and then he can show me around. Dave, I have a great idea for a video for you that you have not covered yet. How do I contact you with an idea? If you guys don't follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you can look at my handles on my YouTube page. Just add me on Instagram or Twitter and then message me direct. Not that many people contact me on Instagram or Twitter, so I've been able to respond to every direct message, but if you comment on one of my videos, I get quite a few comments across my channel these days, so it's kind of hard to respond to all those. We got 51 people in the live stream. If you guys could give this video a thumbs up, it kind of wakes up the algorithm, and then more people are able to find the video. So if you guys could smash that thumbs up button, I greatly appreciate it. Charlie, you're in the Marines. Awesome. Congrats. Probably glad to be done. Where were we? Edward, I use Robinhood, so I'll be watching those videos. Fantastic. Yeah, I think, of people that seek out financial advice on YouTube, most people, I think, are probably using Robinhood. Older investors are using Schwab and Vanguard and Fidelity. So Yeah, I probably should have been making more Robinhood content prior. You don't have to use Robinhood. I just feel like I might be able to attract more subscribers if I start actively using my Robinhood account. So next year, I plan on doing that with my 25K trading series. Jackson, one of my old time subscribers. How many flags do you have? There's always a new one. So we've got the wall tapestries here on my right, and then I've got the flags up here, and I've got the US flag, I've got a Korean flag, I've got a Dutch flag, the Milwaukee flag, and this pirate flag. But as far as tapestry goes, I think I have like 24 different ones that I use to cover up this window. It's just something fun to do for my background. Hey, Muff Mod, good to see you. Steven, when will you be moving to Vegas? I'm done. My terminal leave in the Air Force starts on December 20th. So I'm free to leave on December 20th, but I think with getting TMO to come pick up my household goods, that might be a problem. Plus, I need to have them get delivered, and I just don't know if picking up or delivering over Christmas and New Year's is going to be a problem. And I just don't want to be without my stuff. So I'm thinking about wintering in Minot for Christmas and New Year's, and then having TMO like pick up my stuff like the first week in January. I'm probably just going to go back to Milwaukee for Christmas anyways. So what's the point of trying to rush to Vegas just to get on a plane to go see my parents? So I'll probably be in Milwaukee over Christmas, and I'll be moving to Vegas first 2 weeks of January. Ruben, you made it. Congrats. Catch his breath. Great. Charlie, Jake, what do you think about the military star card? If you have no credit history, the military star card is fantastic. It's a perfect first credit card for, somebody who's never had credit before. So if you're 18, 19, 20, joining the military and you have no credit or bad credit, get the star card. You get a discount on gas, a discount on food court purchases. It does earn rewards when you get that $20 gift card after 2,000 in spend. But with the star card, you got to be careful, because if you don't make your payments, your leadership will be told. In addition, you can't carry over a balance after separating, so you're going to have that thing paid off prior to getting out of the military. Lace Peabody, are these all places you've been? Are these all places you've been? What places are you referring to? 54K, have you been looking at Sphere 3D upcoming merger and installing Bitcoin miners? Sorry, 54K, I don't know anything about that. Sounds interesting though. The Eighth Wonder of the World, 1978. That's a very specific name. I grew up in Minot Air Force Base. Well, I'm sure the town looks pretty different from when you left. I don't know the last time you visited, but people tell me the last 10 years the city has really developed. Winter in Minot, said no one ever. The weather here in December is like Wisconsin winterish type. It doesn't get to the negative 40s until February. So as long as I can get out of here by the end of January, February, I should be good. Peabody, are all these all places you've been? My father is an immigrant from the Netherlands, which is why I have the Dutch flag. I have a Korean flag because I lived in South Korea for 6 years. So that's why I have these flags. What are you going to do after the Air Force? Charlie is asking. YouTube primarily in the beginning, but I do feel like I am the kind of person that probably should find a business to start and do something that I can build and work on and develop, and then maybe hold on to it for a while and then sell it for a lot of money. It's kind of what most rich people do. They have a good idea. They're the ones who started up, get it going, and then they sell it to a large company to basically take it over. Steven, will you collab with Graham Stephan? I'd love to get on his podcast. If I move to Air Force, I'll probably reach out to Jack, because Jack is more accessible. And I'll just be like, hey, I'm a YouTuber. Ideally, by January, I'll have over 100,000 subscribers. And I'll just be like, hey, I'm a finance YouTuber in town. If you guys, ever want me on your podcast, I'd love to make an appearance. But you kind of have to have an angle. You got to have a story why they want to have you on. You can't just be this generic finance guy. Let's see here. Wondering if you have a flag from all the places you've visited. No, I've been to quite a few countries. While I was living in South Korea, I visited lots of places. I've been to Japan a couple times. I've been to Mongolia, Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Thailand, Australia, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. I've been to Canada. I've never been to Europe though, so I'd like to get there someday. Norman, I'm 22 years old, want to go to med school. I have a business and am shooting for 200K to pay off tuition. Would it be a smart idea to invest all my earnings in the stock market over 1 to 2 years? I'm not following that question. In that is shooting to pay off. I have a business. Have you already gone to med school and you now have student debt? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Way NJ official. Okay. With all the new investing apps, cryptos, eventual taxation, and potential new legislation, what's your take on H&R Block? I don't know. I just generically kind of just look at the charts to see what their technicals are. HRB, we can quick look it up and I can just give you my opinion on it now. Now is a good time based on the trend. So let's just go ahead and look at the trend lines here. I made a video last month about Alibaba and I told you guys not to buy it because it's stuck in a downtrend and it's still going down. So H&R Block actually looks like it's consolidated around this $25 for a really long time. It's basically been trading sideways since mid-May. However, the 200-day moving average is still slowly drawing up, and it's probably not going to break out until the 200-day catches up or there's some kind of newsworthy event. So I don't see the rush to buy HRB right now unless you plan for this to be a long-term trade. You want to hold it multiple years and you have confidence in the company. Norman, the idea is that I want my earnings to earn 7% in the market so it grows. I, I I've been honest on my channel that I have not gotten into crypto investing at all, so I really can't speak on that. Slimy Jimmy, that's a good name. Excuse me, sir. As an Air Force officer, our cybersecurity officers rare because I plan to go to ROTC and I'm doing a cybersecurity and analysis degree. So I want to know if cyber officer is rare. I don't know if what you mean exactly by rare. Are you saying there are a lot of them? If you get a relevant degree and you request to be put in that career field, if you do ROTC, you basically have to do whatever they tell you to do. They're gonna give you an AFC. So if they tell you to do missiles like I'm doing, you got to do missiles, even though you got a degree in cybersecurity. So if you go to OTS, you know what your AFSC will be prior to signing all the paperwork. But if you go to the academy or ROTC, it's the needs of the Air Force. That's just something you got to accept. Taylor, very happy to catch you during your live stream. Good to see you, Taylor. Steven, I think Gramp knows you because of those Finding Gramps Stefan videos you did. Yeah, so Graham's girlfriend's channel, Macy, her #1 video is a reaction to the Selling Sunset but Just Graham Stefan videos that I made. So Graham does know who I am, which is kind of cool. So if I ever got to meet him somehow, I'd just be like, hey, remember that reaction video you did to the Selling Sunset but Just Graham Stefan? That was me. I was the guy that mashed up those clips for you. 7 Lucifer. Okay. Jake, you feel like a big brother giving life advice to younger brother. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Lucifer. Not something I thought I'd say on this podcast, but thank you, Lucifer. Norman again. I'm applying to med school and will start in 2 years. I make 70K right now for my business. My question is that would it be a smart idea to invest the 70K in the market? I'm assuming you're making this money and you're asking me which is better to take on student loan debts and invest instead, or just to pay for your medical school outright. I would not take on student loan debt, assuming that rate you're getting is like 5, 6, 7, 8% potentially. I would just pay for school if you have the money. 2 stupid guys trade stocks. Oh, Alibaba, 10% of your portfolio right now. I mean, there are worse stocks to diamond hand, I suppose. So I'm not a believer that Alibaba is going to get dismantled by the communist government, or the stock is going to get delisted. Eventually the fundamentals will cause the technicals to turn for Alibaba, and as soon as it starts uptrending, I will jump on that bandwagon. I will make a video the second it looks like the technicals are indicating that Alibaba is going to turn, because I think that anybody willing to get in early on that will probably make a lot of money over the next 2 to 4 years. NGO Mish 10, great to catch you. Good to catch you too. Will P, thank you for recommending Everything Money channel. You and Everything Money are my two favorite YouTube channels. Yeah, I like I really like Seth. I like the host because, he does a good job of playing that everyday investor trying to learn from his name's Paul and Mo. And Mo is a Paul is an interesting character. He definitely talks a big game, and only time will tell if he's right about all this. I suspect he is. I'm very appealing. I find value investing very appealing. It just hasn't been a good time to be a value investor the last 5 years. Mondal, what is your main profession? I'm a captain in the Air Force. I'm a nuclear and missile operations officer. I guess that's my profession, but it's ending soon. So I'm getting out. Gerardo, what are your thoughts on treasury bonds? I haven't heard you mention them. They're currently paying 3.54 minimum 1 year holding. You can't get 3.5% on a U.S. Treasury bond, or Treasury L bonds, Treasury I bonds. I mean, if you think the market is going down and you want to put your money somewhere that will earn you money, yeah. I mean, if you can get 3.54 on a bonds, okay, yeah, go for it. I was considering buying 100 shares of SBY, but after watching a few comparison videos, I'm thinking of buying Microsoft and Apple instead. What's your thoughts? Microsoft and Apple is 5% of the S&P 500. Microsoft's another 4%. There's a 9% overlap just holding those two. Microsoft and Apple are probably not going anywhere over the next 10, 20 years. They're going to remain profitable, and they're going to be buying back a lot of shares, increasing their dividends. Do I see risk in holding Microsoft and Apple as opposed to the whole market? That's up to you. It's up to you if you don't want to diversify. But I personally, if it's a retirement account, I just tell everyone S&P 500 index funds. All right, the chat's starting to move here. We got 101 people watching and 50 thumbs up. I appreciate that, guys. Let's go to Carlos. How do you feel about SoFi and its charter bank situation? I've never used SoFi. I honestly don't. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm just not familiar with the charter bank situation. JP Knowledge, any trips planned? I know you wanted to visit Korea. I love your channel. Really inspired me to work harder on mine. Great. JP, I still plan on visiting Korea. I'd like to go in the May-June timeframe, and I'd like to go for a couple weeks. I left Korea after living there for 6 years in 2015. I haven't visited since. I had this big trip planned in early 2020 that because of COVID, it got canceled. So I had bought plane tickets, booked hotels. I had to cancel everything. It was a nightmare. Peabody responding. Okay, Norman, I have Amazon stock and I lost 100 a day. Rest in peace. Okay. Craig Chambers, good evening. I'm holding a dead man's hand in riots, laughing. Okay. Whoa, we got our first super chat of the night. Thank you so much, Jake Baker. What do you think of investing in and holding raw land on a waterfront? Well, with any real estate, it's all about location, location, location. Raw land on a waterfront. I mean, it depends on the states, depends on if there's any kind of commercial development happening in the area, and what you want to use that raw land for. There's going to be a cost to own it, and taxes and maintenance. on the waterfront? Is this the ocean? Is this Lake Michigan? I don't know. I would like to own more lands. You know, if you see an investment opportunity there by just holding it now, buying it now, and then waiting a certain amount of time, yeah, it's definitely can work for you. Hey, we got another super chat from Connor. Connor, let's start the super chats. Cheers, Jake. Oops, second place. I still greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Will P, as long as it's not New Orleans. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but Louisiana continues to sink. Joel, the base rate is 0. The inflation brings that up to 3.54, but it's subject to change every 6 months. I keep a very small amounts. Okay. Architect Dave, good to see you. TLT is a treasury bonds ETF. In next 6 to 8 months, it will probably go down because if Feds increase the interest rate, the treasury bond yields will go down. You should check it out. Okay. Jose, what's your latest thoughts on ASPS? If you look at it, it's been in a pretty decent uptrend with the moving averages all lined up. So let's see. The 20-day and the 50-day are above the 200-day for ASPS. So that's a good sign for the technicals. However, they're going to have a good quarter. They're going to have a quarter where they stop losing money. This is not a company that uh, it's currently has more debts than assets, which is a bad sign for a company. But if there's any kind of slowdown in the real estate market, given all of the price inflation for homes, you know, a 5% correction in the housing market immediately puts anybody who recently bought underwater on their mortgage, which is how ASPS makes their money. So we'll see what the next 6 months looks like, but they got an earnings report probably coming up this month, I believe. Quinn, good to see you. Hey, Jake, what are the top 5 AFSCs you would recommend to non rated people about to commission with a civil engineering degree? People really like Intel. That seems to be the number one. People like, if you want an office job, there's always finance, there's personnel, basically anything in support. You get all the base holidays. Maybe don't put missiles on your sheets, but people really like personnel and they like Intel. Where are we going here? A Gonzo, hi Jake, keep up the great work, loving your content. Thank you so much, Gonzo. Maneuver Warfighter, good to see you. I should have taken your advice on the Morgan Stanley Amex Platinum. That robo advisor is horrible. Money pits. Yeah, Morgan Stanley, they don't want their whole website sucks, and they don't really want small dollar investors. Morgan Stanley really, they bought somebody. Who did they buy? I think they bought E-Trade or something, but they don't really have a lot of retail investors. And if you try and sign up on their website, they're not even taking you serious if you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Travel and invest. I'm thinking about Vegas or Florida after retirement from the Air Force. What sold you on Vegas? Proximity to a lot of things, low property taxes, no state income tax, no tax on capital gains, and it's a booming town. It's a town of over 2 million people. If you're looking for a big city that is still somewhat affordable, I mean, you can't go to the West Coast, you can't go to New England. So that leaves Texas, Florida, or Nevada if you want to avoid the other states with no state income tax. And I just feel like things are lining up right now in general for finance YouTubers in Vegas, where if I spent 2 years there, would it be a terrible thing? I'm not going to retire in Vegas, but I definitely want to spend the next couple years there. Let's see where we go. Angels Cry. Thanks, brother, for passing on the great info. Thank you for your service. I'm retired Air Force myself. Thank you for your service. Congratulations on your retirement. Let's see, Mondal. Are you interested in investing in the Indian stock market? Honestly, I don't know anything. If you want to send me a video with some useful information, I'm always up for looking at new information. You should also collab with Erica Kahlberg. All right, guys, I got a secret for you about Erica. I knew Erica before she had 200 subscribers. She she was commenting on my channels basically to promote her own. When you're a small YouTube channel, I think I had maybe 5 or 6 thousand subscribers at the time. She had just started, and she had, her name, Erica Kohlberg, personal finance, and she was leaving comments on my videos to kind of like attract people watching smaller channels to hers. I messaged her on Instagram. We started talking. I gave her some advice. She blew up when basically all this stimulus check stuff happened. And I'm the one who told her, I was like, hey, you're a lawyer. Why don't you make a video explaining the legislation about, what I forget what the name of the legislation was called that involved all the stimulus checks. But as soon as she made that video, within like 2 days, it got like 40,000 subscribers, and her channel just completely blew up. And I'm happy all the success that she's gotten. It's well earned, and now she's like traveling the world. But yeah, we know each other, and if we were ever in the same city, we could totally make a video together. That'd be a lot of fun. Gonna hit any casinos while you're in Vegas? If so, what games do you play? I don't really gamble, Will. I went through a Texas Hold'em period back during like Poker Stars and Full Tilt Poker before that was all shut down. I also went through a blackjack phase. I checked out Baccarat while I was in Asia. Just the games are all rigged. You can't. It's not fun in my opinion. Playing a game where the odds are against you. So I'd rather just trade stocks. I feel like the game's not rigged against me, and I do it pretty well. So I definitely want to hit up some buffets. I want to go see some shows, but I don't have any interest in gambling beyond maybe like, I don't know, some penny slot machines, like whenever I have friends come and visit me. Where are we at here? Gunblazer, wait, no tax on capital gains for real? There's no state tax on capital gains in Nevada. Some states have a state tax on capital gains. I don't know how many, but you still have to pay federal taxes on capital gains in Nevada. James, are you using your GI Bill to get your graduate degree from University of Las Vegas? So I'm already more than halfway through my master's. It's from the University of Nebraska, Omaha, in political science, international relations. I put it on hold basically 2 years ago because I thought I might be getting out of the Air Force. And yes, I am considering transferring my credits to UNLV and then using the GI Bill, mostly because I want the housing allowance. I want the free money. In addition, yeah, I guess they'll pay for my tuition as well. So I probably won't start that back up again until maybe the fall time. Where are we at here? Noah by 50 points. Okay, the chat's just skipped again. Marla, when are you doing another options challenge? Marla, I am doing it. I can't get this thing open. I'm doing another 25K trading challenge on January 1st. Last year, I did it with my Schwab account. I doubled up in 6 months. This time, I'm going to do it with Robinhood and try and double up in less than 6 months. I feel like I know more than I did a year ago, so it should be easier, but it's going to have to probably involve bear trading, bear investing, where you can make money either by shorting or buying puts or let's see here, selling call side credit spreads on stocks that are trending down. So I'll make a bunch of videos explaining it, guys. But I've been experimenting with it the last 2 months, and I'm really enjoying it. Tib, Jake, in Vegas, you should try the dead hand strategy. There is no evidence it doesn't work. Well, it's called the martingale betting strategy, and casinos know it doesn't work, so they're fine with you doing it. It's not rigged if you count cards. Well, you can't really count cards at blackjack when they have automatic shuffling machines. CB, hi Jake. When you look at stock charts and see up gaps and down gaps, how do you trade those? Because I read a 92% of gaps get filled. Yes, it is very common when there is an unusually large gap in the stock price that over the next couple of days it does fill. So you can trade that either by buying or shorting the stock, or you can just buy a call or a put in the near term, or you can do debit spreads and try and capture that movement in that narrow range. HBK, so you're ditching Houston. Yeah, it's too hot. Vegas is hot too, but I hear Houston is very humid. I just don't want to go to Texas. Alvin, Omaha. Yep, that's where Stratcom is. I want a Gatorade now. James, do you have any interest in studying Brazilian Jiu Jitsu while living in Las Vegas? In college, I did Hwarang Do, which is a Korean martial arts. I really enjoyed it, but honestly, I'm 37. I think my martial arts days are behind me, guys. Abram, taking the FSOT exam this October for the State Department. Are you taking the FSOT or am I taking the FSOT? I have thought about taking the FSOT again and just generally going through the application process, mostly because I want to know if they want me now. I applied for the State Department when I was living in Korea. This was 2015. Didn't make it past the second round in the application process, but now that I'm a veteran and an officer, uh, as long as I do well on the test to get to like the second round, I think I would be one of their top candidates. I just want them to offer me a job. I don't even think I would take it, but it'd be fun to go through the process. Noah, sorry, my question was split up in the chat. My question starts above my previous reply. Sorry, Noah, we got to keep moving. The chat just keeps going here. Jake, what stocks are you watching for covered calls? Jake, right now I'm not really watching any individual stocks. The reason why is I got so much else going on in my life right now. The only individual stock that I'm holding right now is Altasource. The rest are just in index funds, and I'm actually holding quite a bit of cash. When I sold out of the dead hand in my Fidelity accounts, it's just sitting there in cash right now. I've got $92,000 there, and I'm kind of feeling like a genius now that the market's been dipping 5% over the last month, and it's probably going to continue to struggle. I don't see any crazy correction or crash occurring, but I think we hit the market high. Well, let's just pull it up here. I always use SPY as my reference, but SPY maxed out at 453. It's currently at 428. I don't think we're going to be above 453 by the end of December. I think the market's just going to start trading in a range. It's going to start trading sideways as the Fed announces tapering. Doesn't mean you should panic and sell everything. I'm not advising that. Steve, hey Jake, just curious what your plan to do with your TSP after you separate. Uh, I have looked into this and I'm going to make a video about it probably next March. You can't pull your money out of the TSP while you're still actively contributing. They know that if you're still in service, you can still contribute to it. But as soon as I'm out, I should be able to roll my TSP into my Roth IRA. So I only contribute to my Roth TSP, and I just got to hand in the paperwork, and then I can roll my Roth TSP into my Roth IRA. I'll do that once I'm done with government service. I'll make a video about it next spring when I'm allowed to. James, what is your schedule for future challenges? I really enjoyed your options challenge. Well, we got the Robinhood 25K, and then I want to start picking individual stocks. I kind of want to call it value investing, but I can't ignore technicals. I love the everything money guys, but when they started recommending Alibaba, like they recommended to their viewers, buy Alibaba while it was still clearly in a downtrend. I was like, why are you doing this? There's no demand for this stock. It's going to continue falling. And the everything money guys also follow Sven Carlin, who's a really good value investor. Like the guy has a PhD and he's written books. But once again, Sven was buying Alibaba and he was saying, yeah, it's probably going to continue going down. I just don't understand that logic of if you think it's still going down, why are you buying it? Just wait for it to bottom out. It's like they go these, Luke, Jake. 당신은 한국에서 영어 선생 있을 때 우리는 친구. So you're from Korea and you want to be friends? I think that's what you're saying to me. Would you sell SPY 475 calls? So you're selling a covered call for the strike of 475? I mean, yeah, you can sell that because SPY would have to get back to 475 and you would make a huge profit. It's currently at 428. So I don't think you phrased that right. Whoo, Rosadad, you're competing with Monday Night Football. Yes, who's currently playing on Monday Night Football? The Packers game against the Steelers. Oh, you guys know I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. And then, even though I hate Tom Brady, I mean that New England Tampa Bay game was also entertaining. I watched that last night. Lone Wanderer 360. I'm just putting everything in a Schwab mutual fund for the time being, leaving everything else alone. It's gonna get volatile the next couple months. When the Fed finally does announce tapering is occurring, people are just gonna panic. Even though this is something we all know is coming, and monetarily not a lot is gonna change as far as the money supply. People are still gonna just use it as an excuse to panic sell. Have you watched Squid Game yet? No, I haven't, but I hear it's Korean or something. Like there's Korean actors or it's voiced in Korean. I'm not sure what the deal. I don't know what it's about at all, but everybody's talking about it. So every once in a while, Netflix has one of these zeitgeist shows like Queen's Gambit or Tiger King. So I guess I just need to watch it. Misael, good to see you. What do you think about Microsoft long term? I don't think Microsoft is going anywhere. They just raised their prices on Microsoft Office for the first time in 10 years, and nobody cares. Nobody's going to cancel Microsoft subscriptions because they increased the price $5. So it's just pure profit. I think Microsoft is in a really good position. I don't think it's going anywhere the next 10, 20 years. Where are we at here? Okay, we got Mad Who again. What you stream your Robinhood 25K so that I can copy you? I do not recommend you guys copy my trades. Definitely watch my videos, take into consideration what I have to say, but don't just do what I do. I will explain to you why I'm doing what I'm doing, and if that logic makes sense to you, if the technicals look the same to you, if you guys see something I don't know everything. You guys can definitely be smarter than me. Hey, we got another super chat from Connor. Thank you so much again, Connor. Any thoughts on what effect the global shipping backup will have on the market? Work in construction, mining, sales, and parts are backed up for months and don't see freight catching up to demand for years. It's a labor shortage. These they can't find truck drivers. They can't find people to work at the shipping yards. These are tough jobs that pay good, but you can make decent money not working as hard as those guys do. So it's going to get worse with the global economy just completely overheating from so much easy money. The money supply is not going to contract anytime soon. So these raw material and shipping shortages are going to continue. So I mean, if you want to order something or buy something, just be prepared to wait. Everybody is experiencing this all across the world, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. But thank you, Connor. Luke, I'm holding Flickr, a Korean index fund. Cool. In case the Korean economy does well in general, but it has done nothing this year. Yeah, probably. I mean, the Korean economy, it's basically the chaebol giants. It's Hyundai and Samsung and LG. It's the same. I mean, what would their index has to be 50%? Just those three companies. Samsung is huge. There was an economics explained video talking about the Korean economy, and it's just nuts how big these companies got, and the government doesn't know what to do about them. They can't break them up because they're worried that will just completely devastate their economy, and it's just monopolies. Ace, would you prefer selling options or buying options? I think selling is a much more consistent, long-term, profitable strategy. But if you're doing a challenge and you want to double up quick, you have to be a buyer. I'm gonna have to buy options and take a higher risk in order to have dramatic returns, which I feel like is more exciting and more entertaining to watch than people just selling covered calls on Apple every month. Don, you're my new best friend now that I heard you say you don't like Tom Brady. It's obnoxious. Like when anybody wins that much. Plus, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the NFC Championship game last year. So I just hate seeing Tom Brady win. He's like 44. Like just give somebody else a chance to have some of that glory. Where are we at here? Luke SK, Hynex is huge too. Yep, I remember SK. Yeah. Okay, so John, sorry, I'm a little late to the live stream. Where is a good place to get started with investing in ETFs, and what ETFs are good investments now? If you're just getting started with ETF investing, you can't go wrong with Vanguard's VOO, which is their S&P 500 ETF. So if you're just looking for something to hold long term, I recommend VOO. If you'd rather hold the entire market, Vanguard's VTI is what I recommend. Larry, anyone else pick up some Facebook calls? So I'm going to make a video about Facebook. I think for Wednesday, my video is going to be talking about Facebook because I sold some out of the money put credit spreads on Facebook, and they went very, very badly. I'll show you guys the numbers. I didn't lose that much, but when you look at how much I lost on the short side of my legs, it's like $30,000. I didn't lose $30,000, but that will be the title of the video because technically I did on the short side of these credit spreads. If you guys don't know what credit spreads is, I'll recap it in the video and I'll explain what happened with Facebook. But with Facebook, it's not done falling. I think Facebook is going to continue dropping. They had an outage today. WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook was all down for like 4 hours today. So it was at a high of 382, looked like it was cruising to 400. It's now at 326. I think this sucker is going to fall all the way to 300. As soon as it does, and the technicals look like it's going to turn, it's probably going to stay down through earnings. Their earnings report for Facebook is on October 28th. The Fed meeting is the first week in November. I don't think Facebook stock price is going to recover until after the Fed meeting. So I'll make a video about it, but I'm going to be making purchases of my own on Facebook calls early November. I think that's the time. Where are we at here? Swing for the ring. If my old employer sends me a check from my IRA, I think you mean your 401k. How do I forward it to my new IRA? So your old employer would have nothing to do with an IRA. So I think you mean your 401k. How do I forward it to go to my new IRA broker to roll it over and not get penalized? You got to be very careful when you get that check from your old 401k because you only have something like 60 days or 90 days or something very short to get it deposited before it becomes a taxable event. So talk to your HR department, your new company, talk to your old company's HR department, make sure that check gets deposited. Otherwise, it's a disaster as far as taxes goes. You basically just cashed out your 401k. Easiest way to make money every month, SPY credit calls. So credit spreads have defined benefit, defined risk. I've made several videos talking about them now. I like them. I like out of the money credit spreads. It was an outage. It was a DNS attack. I don't. But why would Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all go down at the same time? That's what doesn't make any sense to me. I get it. They're all owned by Facebook. It's one company. But how can you have it so centralized that 3 different platforms independently, well, they're not independent, that's the point, get brought down? To me, this is crazy. I want to know more about this DNS attack. That's huge. Josh D33. Jake, big thanks for all the content you post for us. I've learned more than you can imagine from you and appreciate your honest, concise, and straightforward content. Wish you much success for you. I don't fluff it up, guys. I definitely think I could get more views and more subscribers if I pandered a little bit and told you what you want and psyched you guys up and told you, yeah, buy Lucid Motors or Neo or like these battery companies. I just can't do it. I just can't make content where I don't believe that they are good long-term viable strategies. I'm not going to give you guys what I know in my brain to be bad advice, but I see other people doing it on YouTube. Those videos get, for some reason, they get tons of views, tons of subscribers. So we'll see. Zuckerbot lost 7 billion in 4 hours. Yeah, Zuckerberg has lost a lot of money as Facebook has dropped 13% in the last month. Ooh, where are we going here? Jackson, when you go to a website like Facebook, it asks the DNS for the IP. These name servers were unreachable because the nodes returned the incorrect path, causing the site to be down. Okay, cool. Beyond 9 to 5. That's a good name. What's your take on debt? Invest or pay off your mortgage? I personally don't recommend paying off your mortgage early, assuming you have a low interest rate of about 3 or 4%. I would rather you were investing that money long term in the market as opposed to paying down mortgage debt. You don't like LCID? No, I don't like any of these EV stocks that don't really make or sell cars. And they have higher or equal valuations to companies like Ford that do sell a lot of cars. So it just doesn't make any sense. They're heavily overvalued, guys. Shipping a container from China to the US. George asks SWPPX or Vivifax. Well, those are both mutual funds, and you have to be a client of Schwab to purchase SWPPX or a client of Vanguard to purchase Vivifax. So if you have a Vanguard brokerage account, you're trying to buy a Schwab mutual fund, they're going to charge you like 20, 30, 40 bucks every time you do a transaction. So don't do that. They're identical mutual funds in that they track the S&P 500. But if you want to buy an ETF, you can do that. You can have a Schwab brokerage account and buy a Vanguard ETF or a Vanguard brokerage account and a Schwab ETF, but you can't do that with their mutual funds. Triple S Triple W for a new to options guy. Should I try to continue the covered calls or wheel strategy? I have been holding Palantir and Net since DPO IPO. The problem with covered calls on those kinds of stocks, IPOs, is that they can have random wild swings, and then all of a sudden you just lost your stock, or the stock could just completely crater. Yeah. If you're going to sell covered calls, I recommend doing it on large cap stocks, maybe one of the 100 largest companies. They have the most contracts and liquidity for the contracts. So I don't recommend small caps or IPOs if you're going to trade options. Adam Stone, you can get more views by doing the Mark Reese face. That's it, guys. That's the reason why I haven't hit 100,000 subscribers yet. I haven't done the stupid O face, in all my thumbnails. I'm new to Air Force ROTC cadets. Have any tips on marching? It just takes time. When I showed up at officer training school and I had to march for the first time, I looked like an idiot. I probably still looked like an idiot after 9 weeks. I was not very coordinated, but it just takes practice. And like any skill, you got to sleep on it. So you practice it, sleep on it, try it the next day. Just you get that muscle memory for the movements. But you can watch YouTube videos. But as soon as you start doing it, you can do it. Connor, thoughts on Peloton and its trajectory? Peloton was never worth this much money, guys. It's another one of these stocks where the fundamentals don't matter. I mean, you can trade it. You can trade it on momentum and make a lot of money. But Peloton, just looking at their fundamentals and their projections, how do you spell Peloton? Peloton? Is that the ticker? Whoa! Yeah, Peloton is down to 82. It's probably going to continue falling. I mean, it's in a steep decline. It's going down. It'll level off at some point. I have no clue what this company is valued at, but it's probably still overvalued, just being honest. Yesenia, love your channel. So much good info. Thanks. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Justin, Financial Dad. Hey, Jake, do you enjoy these Q&A live streams? first one I've been able to join. This is my third one, and I feel like the first one, the audio was bad, so I got a microphone. And then the second one, the color balance was off. I looked terrible. So I figured out how to hook my Canon 90D up to my computer. So I'm using it as my webcam. So I feel like the picture quality and the audio should be decent now. So yeah, I'm having fun with these live streams. My only limitation though is I guess my battery on the Canon is running, and I can't do, as soon as the camera dies. But it looks like it's still going strong. I'm at 50 minutes in. Let's see, we got 175 people watching, 100 thumbs up. If you guys are watching and you haven't given a thumbs up yet, give this a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Dustin Jones, hi Jake. My 401k is a FID 500 index fund, but it's a tiny amount of my balance. Is it related to S&P 500 index? I mean, if it says 500 index fund, that sounds like the S&P 500 index. So yeah. Let's see here. Justin, I really appreciate that nice comment you gave me. I shared that on my Instagram and Twitter. It really made my day, and that was a very nice comment. I greatly appreciate that, Justin. Jackson, what do you think of Snapchat? I don't understand how this company is 100 billion market cap. So Snapchat had a really good quarter. I remember this being news. Yeah, this was back in July, and it shot up from 63 to 77. So it went up like 18% in like a week. And when people are buying that, they say, wow, they had a really good quarter. They jumped up this much in revenue. What if they jump up that much in revenue every quarter for like years and years? What could this company be valued at? So Snapchat's about to report again, probably because it's been 3 months. And if they don't, grow quarter over quarter or year over year, then people will be like, whoa, our projections were not good. So Snapchat could have a pullback. Whoa, we got a super chat from Bluish Lizard. That's a great name. Which brokerage account do you recommend for a Roth IRA to sell covered calls, Vanguard or Schwab? I like Vanguard personally, but Schwab has a better user interface. Honestly, I've given up on Vanguard, guys. They will not update their website. I know they have a new Beacon app on the phone. I haven't checked it out, but I personally just really enjoy using Schwab's platform. So once I have enough money, will be selling covered calls on SPY in my Schwab Roth IRA. So anybody who asks me who should I go with for especially selling covered calls, I recommend Charles Schwab over Vanguard. So that's my answer, Lizard. Ooh, Misael, Jake, do you think margin for long-term holds is a good idea? Robinhood is only 2.5%. The problem with margin is, what if the market goes down? The amount on margin increases. So only 2.5% sounds great when the market's at a high, but if your margin level is between 0 and 10%, in my opinion, that's a rounding error. It's not that big of a deal. But people get into trouble when they go full margin and they basically max it out at that 50%. They then say, well, I'm a genius. The market is earning me 10% a year. Robinhood's only costing me 2.5. But they're not factoring in, what if there's a huge pullback? Margin calls are a real thing. Hi, Jake. Any crypto coin are you planning to buy this quarter? Nope, there's no cryptos that I'm currently planning on buying in the near term. Dylan, do you think capital gains tax through an online brokerage account is worth it compared to just paying marginal tax rates on a traditional IRA or TSP? Do you think capital gains is worth it compared to just paying? I prefer long-term favorable capital gains in a taxable brokerage account. I've made several videos about this, but I think if you want to have a retirement account and only pay the 15% when you sell for long-term capital gains, that's a better deal than investing in a traditional IRA or traditional side TSP or 401k, where for the rest of your life, you're pulling out at your marginal tax rate. Honestly, I think the game is rigged, guys. And if taxes were to ever go up, it'd probably go up on working people. So the marginal tax rates we all would have to pay, I think, are more likely to increase before the capital gains tax rates because the investor class owns Congress, just being honest here. Alan, Team Green. Okay. J. Dion, should I finish paying off a car note or of 5,000 or just buy VTI while it's down? Pay off the car notes. That's a guarantee. I don't know how much that's costing you, but yeah, don't mess around with that kind of debt, J. Dion. So, and as far as buying VTI while it's down, it's probably going to go down a little bit more over the next couple months, so there's no rush. Whoa. My Green Caw, super chat of $10. Pittance compared to what you've made me on covered calls. Fantastic. What platform are you using to sell covered calls? Probably Fidelity. That's my guess. I feel like my Fidelity brokerage tutorials have gotten more views than my Schwab or my Vanguard ones. So I think most people who have found my channel by searching for how-to videos have found me through Fidelity. Thoughts on Shiba Inu? Is that the dog? Wait, what's a Shiba Inu? Shiba Inu? Yeah, it's the dog. It's the Korean dog. Wait, no. It's a coin? It's Dogecoin? I don't know. Sorry, Merc. I'm just not familiar with what you're asking me. Darren, which videos of yours have you enjoyed making the most? I really like making my options trading videos. I think I like the math. I like the probability. You know, there's this gambling aspect to it that I really enjoy. You know, buying and selling stocks just feels boring to me now that I understand options and I see the potential there. However, I'll be honest, guys, my option trading videos don't get a lot of views, and I thought they would get more in the search, but I don't know. It's not picking up. My Green Caw, I was correct. You do trade with Fidelity. Back to Connor. Jake, you're about to be disappointed. He means the coin. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't invest in any cryptos right now. I don't think crypto will be the panacea that people think it'll be once the money supply starts contracting. Hedge against inflation, I get the argument, but you know, if people have to sell something to pay their bills, they're going to sell their crypto. I think the price is going to go back down as the money supply has to be contracted over the next 2 or 3 years. Still a good long-term hold if you're looking to invest for like 10 years. Shiba was up like 70% today. Well, it's a coin. I don't know. I don't know anything about these coins, guys. Sorry. Don't smoke crack. Okay, didn't think I'd say that tonight. Why Schwab over Fidelity? I just like their user interface. Fidelity is very green. It's just like 3 different shades of green for the user interface. But with Schwab, it's black text on a white background with just, you know, like blue highlights. That's all the color you need. Schwab is very clean and easy to look at. As far as customer service goes, all these brokerages are just fine. Miguel, Jake, how many mutual funds or index funds do you have, and how many can you have? What company do you recommend? If I buy an ETF, I just buy Vanguard's ETFs. You know, there's VOO for the S&P, VTI for the total. If you want to do BND for a total bond market ETF, those are ETFs, but they act as mutual funds. So and they're also index funds because they track an index. But yeah, just Google Vanguard ETF lists, and then you can see like all 68 ETFs that they offer. They're all solid products with low expense ratios, and Vanguard is the most trustworthy and reputable of the big brokerage companies. Merc Flip, I thought you were into crypto. Merc Flip, I don't think you've seen many of my videos then. I never talk about crypto. Sorry, man. David, there are a million options videos. What sells is your 25K challenge videos. I'm gonna spice it up with Robinhood on January 1st. You know, I gotta come up with some clickbaity titles, I guess. Just get people in the door, and then they can see all the value that I'm providing them with my great technical analysis. We're going to talk about stochastics and other technical analysis that you can look at prior to entering a trade. I'll be doing credit spreads, debit spreads, and long calls, long puts. People get annoyed though when I'm not just buying and selling. That's because that's what they want to do. It's the easiest to understand. But if you want to make the most money, if you want to double up in 4 months, you have to do it with options. Or just buy Shiba Inu coin perfectly at the bottom and then exactly at the top. You know, why learn math when you can just trade crypto? Apparently, Jane, I learn options from you. I will learn options from you. Fantastic, Jane. Check out my playlist. A1 Sauce, how do you screen companies to buy share options? Well, there are stock screeners, and you can use the charts and the stock screeners for the fundamentals to decide whether or not you want to trade an option on it. An option is just an accelerated form of buying and selling the stock. Justin, have you ever used Fidelity Active Trader Pro? Honestly, no. I've looked at all these level 2 trading software programs, and it's just not for me. I mean, I could do it, but I feel like if I started screen recording these advanced trading software programs, I'd probably lose more people than I would gain. So I just don't see the benefit. As far as broadcasting what I'm doing and trying to teach people things, if I was also trying to tell people, hey, download Active Trader Pro and follow me, in this trading software, I'd probably lose more people than I gain. Merc Flip, I've been watching your videos on how to trade options. Thank you so much. LOL at Julius Caesar. Apparently he said something funny. I missed it. Where are we at here? 172 watching. Thank you so much, guys. Ruben, seems like coins are just being made up for the heck of it. I might as well make one called Hamster Coin. I don't know why the Millennium Money guys haven't made their own coin yet. It would probably do really well if all 4 of them just started pumping it on their YouTube channel. Misael, Jake, I have money saved up. I want to put to work. Would you deploy it now or wait for more of a downside? Well, if you want to pick an individual stock, obviously only use a portion of your savings to, manage your risk, but there's still going to be stocks that are going to be doing just fine going up in the short term. But the market as a whole, like I said, if you want to hold on to cash for the next couple months, you'll probably be fine. Have you read the little book that beats the market? And if so, have you ever used the Magic Formula investing website? So I started that book and then I put it on pause because there was a different book I wanted to read before, but I'll come back to it. But no, I've never used the Magic Formula investing website, but I've watched enough YouTube videos explaining the Magic Formula that I get it. And yeah, it's basically just a form of value investing. Luke says Active Trader Pro is better than the Fidelity mobile app. That's about it. Jose also thanks on the ASPS insight. Once again, guys, it's a long-term hold. It's not going anywhere. I think it'll be higher 9 months from now than where it is now. It'll probably get back to 14. Hamster coin is already taken. Of course it is. There's like 7,000 cryptos, guys. John, where do you plan on going once you leave the military? I'm moving to Las Vegas in January. That's the plan. Do you own any Jake coin yet? I feel like Jake coin has to be taken, guys. There's no way that has not been taken. Yeah, of course. There's cryptocurrency called Jake coin. No, I've not invested in any Jake coin. John, have you been cooking up any new option strategies after the dead hand challenge? No, I'm mostly just kind of like getting ready for January 1st when I restart my 25K challenge. I'll be using Robinhood this time. And I'll be doing credit and debit spreads as opposed to long calls and long puts, which is what I was doing this year. Whew. Okay, did you get a CPAP? Ah, geez. I'm not going to make a video about this, guys, but I did get the results to my sleep study, and they told me there's nothing wrong with me. That my brain function isn't interrupted when I'm in REM sleep. That my blood oxygen levels are good throughout the night. I snore, but I don't have true sleep apnea. So I'm kind of disappointed because I feel like I sleep terrible, and but maybe I'm just getting old. And yeah, I was kind of bummed. I mean, I'm glad that I have my health, because if you do have sleep apnea, your risk of Alzheimer's and hypertension and all these other cancer, all these other things get much worse. So I'm glad I don't have true sleep apnea, but they referred me to the dental clinic. I can get basically a mouthpiece that I can sleep with that should prevent me or help me not to snore at night. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to make me feel better. But maybe I just need to stop doing my job in the Air Force. But I think I think once I stop doing my job in the Air Force, my sleep will improve. J. Dion, Jake, are your next option videos going to be daily? No, I don't think I can post at the rate of every day, but I probably will consistently post 4 times a week once I'm doing YouTube full time. Matthew, why does no one talk about a NASDAQ index fund? Well, the NASDAQ index ETF is QQQ, and people do talk about it. QQQ is traded a lot. Christopher Duffy, what kind of work will you do in Vegas? You're looking at it. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to do YouTube full time. Uh, it won't be the only thing I do, but it'll basically be my primary source of income until whatever other projects that I develop pick up over time. Ideally, guys, I want to be rich. Like once I have enough money to just be done working, live off my investments. That's probably what I'll be doing. I'll post to this channel maybe once a month. This is years in the future, guys. Don't worry. But like years in the future, once I have more money than I need, yeah, I'll just make a YouTube video like once a month, chilling, telling you how great my life is. Jose, real estate in the near future. I'm trying. I got a bunch of videos about buying a house coming out soon. I've done a lot of research into it, and I feel like I can give you guys some useful information coming up here. They don't want anyone to get the sleep apnea. Shake my head. Was curious your response to the sleep study. Thanks for the update, Gary. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm still glad I did it, and I feel I like the video that I made. I think other people eventually, once it starts ranking in the search algorithm, they're going to find that video, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. Dylan Docker, what is your fire number? My fire number, I think, is like a little over 3 million. Once you have over 3 million, you can basically put everything into VTI, and then the dividend payout per year or something is something like or the dividend payout with capital gains on average, you're getting that 80,000 a year tax free for the 0% bracket for long-term capital gains. Like once I can put millions of dollars in an index fund and just slowly sell it off and live off the dividend payments, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good life. So 3 million is my fire number. Margaret, travel vlog. Yeah, once I start traveling, like when I go to Korea in May, I'll definitely make some videos about traveling over there. Maverick Mills, wait, are you leaving the United States Air Force? Yeah, I made a video talking about that. My terminal leave starts in December. My official end day is in February. Buyer never losing. Hey, Jake, what's your take on CITs? What's a CIT? I guess that's my take on it. CIT? Collective investment fund? A group of pooled accounts held by a bank or trust company. Sorry, I guess I haven't learned enough about that to really give you any kind of a opinion. Jake, are you bullish on semiconductors? I like Intel. It's a value investor play. It's currently in a downtrend, so I'm personally waiting to buy it. But Intel, I think, is undervalued currently, and it'll probably have another shoot up in the next 6 months to a year. But as for the other semiconductors, um, I don't know. I think their production costs are going to increase. So if they can pass that on to the companies that order chips from them, maybe they can keep up their tremendous revenue growth. Jake, are you comfortable sharing your net worth? I'm 24 and just passed 150K. My goal is 1 million by 30. Yeah, my net worth is a little over 300,000. So I have no debts. And yeah, I between my TSP, Roth IRA, and all my brokerage accounts, yeah, I'm cruising. I'm doing pretty well. And to put this in perspective, guys, 3 years ago when I started this all, I had $10,000 in my checking account. Didn't have anything in my TSP. Didn't have an IRA. Didn't have this YouTube channel. So the last 3 years, I've just been absolutely crushing it. And on the trajectory that I'm on, I should be a millionaire within 2 years. Like the net worth, I won't be like living large, making it rain in the clubs. But I don't see how I can screw this up. I'll make a video at the end of the year talking about how much I've made from YouTube this year and how much I've made from investing this year. But if I can do this for another year, year and a half, 2 years, I don't see how I screw it up. I don't know. Eli29, we got a super chat of $5. Hey, Jake, have you seen Squid Game? Also, what did you think of today's social media outage? So, that social media outage today is pretty suspect given that the whistleblower on 60 Minutes occurred last night. If you guys haven't seen the interview on YouTube from the 60 Minutes of the whistleblower who stole thousands of pages of documents from uh, internal memos within Facebook. It's fascinating. And it honestly explains a lot why every time you go on Facebook, you're angry. Facebook is basically just a rage inducing engine that gets clicks. And there's so much toxicity and people fighting all the time on Facebook. It's basically their business model now is to make you angry, and they proved it. They have the data and the experiments showing exactly what they are, and they decided not to do anything about it because it was profitable. Now the objective of a company is to be profitable, but we as a society can say, hey, this is harming society. It's profitable for a tobacco company to market cigarettes to children. Do we legally allow that? So Facebook is under scrutiny right now, and there's probably gonna be some legislation. I don't know if they can get Republicans on board. It probably would be bipartisan, but I don't think Facebook's going to get away from this whistleblower reports. And the next time Zuckerberg is on the Hill, it's going to be super awkward. As for Squid Game, everybody's talking about it. It's one of those zeitgeist shows like Tiger King or Queen's Gambit. I just got to watch it. So I think on my next alert wave, when I'm in the field, I will binge that show. I'm looking forward to it. Ooh, Jake, DC or Marvel? I've always been a Marvel fan. So when I was a kid, I collected Iron Man comics in the 90s. So during the Onslaught saga, in which basically the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Iron Man, and the Incredible Hulk were all rebooted, their comic counts went back to one. I think I was in like sixth or seventh grade. I started buying the comics. And I remember when they announced the Iron Man movie coming out in 2008, I was super pumped for this. Like, I thought this was going to be the coolest thing ever. Didn't really know much about Robert Downey Jr., aside from that he was a drug addict and he played Charlie Chaplin. But when I saw that movie in 2008, I was like, this is gold. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. Because I had been an Iron Man fan for 20 years at that point, or 15 since I was a kid. And now that everybody loves Tony Stark and Iron Man in the MCU, it kind of feels cliche. I don't know. Like, my brother got me into comics when I was a kid, and I'm happy for Marvel and all their success. Where are we at here? Conquer and die. The number is the amount of money you want to retire at a certain level. Maverick, thanks for these Q&As and your content. I look forward to your prosperity. Having a good night. Have a good night, Maverick. It don't matter, DC or Marvel. I'd recommend watching Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. The new take on Superman is just Zack Snyder. He's the one that led up this revamp or this reimaging of Superman. I did enjoy the Snyder cut of Justice League. Like the original Justice League that Joss Whedon butchered was just completely terrible. So like the movie went from like a C minus to a B plus, and yeah, it was getting interesting. Like I would have liked to see the Snyderverse expand and where they were going with that. Like the dystopian desert future where like Superman is trying to hunt down Batman. I want to see that movie. That looked like a cool movie. But all we were getting were these glimpses. Ruben, you're going to bed, quitter. All right, have a good night. Ali, what about UFOs? I'm waiting for news to break, guys. As soon as there's a story about a really good UFO, I promise I'm going to cover it for you guys. But just checking the news. There hasn't been anything new or interesting. I mean, as soon as like something gets declassified or released, more video maybe from Navy pilots, yeah, I'd love to get a look at it and see what people's take are. Lalit, are you really good at mental math? Yeah, I'm a math nerd. I'm pretty good at mental math. Ooh, Connor. Personally, I would be very cautious about Facebook long term. I think there's blood in the water and it's a matter of time. So there's actually an argument to be made that if Facebook were to be broken up, that it would actually increase the value of all these companies. So if Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp were separated into three different companies, and you own stock in Facebook, when the new companies are spun off, you get shares in those companies. They would have basically IPOs as the company splits. And when companies split, their value tends to increase. So I think if it were to be announced that regulation would be splitting up Facebook, Facebook stock price would actually go up because people want to own it before the split occurs. It's interesting. John, the mouthpiece, I'm assuming for snoring is horrible. Don't do it. There are a lot of things that can go with it, like waking up with a sore mouth, teeth shifting. I'm in the military. Getting that mouthpiece is free. In my entire time in the military, I've never turned down anything free that the military wants to give me. So if I don't like it, I won't use it, but I'm definitely going to get it. Connor, Facebook's whole thing is trying to grow by targeting children. That's not going to fly. Yeah, I got to get them while they're young, but it's not working. All the young kids are on TikTok. I still don't have TikTok, guys, but I think I can only hold out for so long. Eventually, I will probably get on TikTok, but I don't think Facebook is getting the next generation. I think they've completely lost. I mean, kids don't want to be on the same platform as the grandparents and their parents. They don't want to friend their mom on Facebook. Facebook's not cool anymore. What are your thoughts on TQQQ? If you want to day trade it, yeah, you can day trade TQQQ, but holding a triple leveraged ETF long term is not a good strategy. I made a video explaining the math why it's not. Let's see. Carlos, one more question. Do you see Ford challenging Tesla in the long term? Yes. I think Tesla will always have better software, but as far as vehicles, I definitely think GM, Ford, BMW, all the major auto manufacturers worldwide, they're going to catch up to Tesla in the vehicle, the hardware. But Tesla has the advantage right now in software, and I think eventually car manufacturers will have to get help. This is already happening with partnerships, but Google has the self-driving technology, and they're going to license it to GM and Ford cars. So Google will come up with self-driving technology that then sell to major automotive makers. But GM and Ford, yeah, they can make an electric vehicle that will be as good as a Tesla pretty soon. Do you believe in 40 plus years the standard measurement for the market will not be the S&P? Nope, I think the S&P 500 is locked in. It's going to probably continue another 40 years. Yep. Facebook is for corporations and grandparents. Small farm, big life. Good to see you. What's your take on doing 20 years active duty? I am thinking about it. I'm too old. I'm 37. There's no way I'm making it till I'm 52. So, if you haven't watched that video, I am getting out of the Air Force. But if you can make it 20 years, if your body can hold up, your mental and your social life can hold up, yeah, it's the pension. The military pension is a tremendous benefit. Hey, Jake, what has to happen for home prices to fall, and when should we realistically expect this to happen? I think the housing market is going to stay hot through next summer. So tapering by the Fed is going to start in December, January. The stock market's going to freak out just on the news, but then it'll get over it. It has a very short attention span. But the tapering will continue through the summer, and then they're going to have to start raising interest rates. It's at that point that the buyers will stop expanding and they'll stop buying, and then the sellers will we'll start seeing an increase in inventory. Additionally, the home buyers have to catch up. The home builders have to catch up. All right, guys, we got 9:21. Let's do this for another 8 minutes. Swing for the ring. Is having kids a poor financial choice? Yes. If you're looking at it just from a mathematical point, I mean, if you view your children as an investment, then they better become a doctor or a lawyer and support you in your retirement. You know, there are countries like Korea and India where that's parents' entire retirement plan is I'm investing in my kids. They need to become a doctor or a lawyer and then support me when I'm old. So I don't plan on having my kids, if I have kids, be in investments. I'm going to spend money on them, and I'm not expecting any kind of return on that money over my lifetime. Have you thought about reviewing TV shows, tech? I think you would be very informative and amazing to watch. Yeah, I think next year I might expand my content. If I do start posting every day, I'll still talk about finance and investing topics, but I definitely can branch out and comment on new releases or new services or anything related to tech and science. I in general really like tech and science, and I could see my channel's content expanding to include some of that. Would you recommend HSA as another retirement vehicle? Yeah, if you want to play that game, HSAs are fantastic if you qualify because you're getting the tax savings as you put money in. You basically want to plan to never use the money, and then when you hit 65, you can use that, and you go on Medicare. You can then use your money in your HSA as a retirement fund. Whew, I'm losing my voice. Hey, AC. AC, I think you've been at all 3 of my live streams now, so I'm glad you made it. I'm late to the party. Have a good one. Thank you so much. Fire Stick. Hey, Jake, I want to buy a 400K and Tesla Leaps. No, don't do that. No, I don't know how much 400,000 of your portfolio it is, but guys, I'm just not a believer that Tesla is going to go to 4,000. You know, when Tesla had its huge run up in January, February, all the finance YouTubers were saying Tesla's going to 4,000, you know, this year, next year, whatever. And it's down. It's down from its 52-week high. Yeah, it's rallying right now, but I think Tesla's going to have another dip this winter. Too much has been priced into the valuation. I would not be buying leaps on Tesla. No, I can't recommend that to you. Sorry. That was a COVID cough. Don't jinx me, guys. I've been vaccinated. Any advice for me trying to invest or open a business, selling my car for it? If you know any costs that you can do at home or in house, you know it's tough getting going, but as soon as you can establish your business and have cash coming in, it gets easier. But yeah, it is difficult in the beginning. What percent is ideal for the military TSP? Hey, Adam, definitely be doing that 5% to get the 5% match. It doesn't matter if you do Roth TSP or traditional, you're getting that 5% match from traditional. retirement experts say put 15% in, just minimum 5. Beyond that, that's all extra. Ryan videos, pros of buying a house in today's market, just the rates. Yeah, just the rates. I would not be buying a house in this market unless you plan to hold it at least 5 years. There could potentially be a pullback in housing prices. So for people trying to flip houses now, you're gambling. You know that markets prices are going to stay this high in the near term. But if you're buying a house and you plan on living there long term, don't worry about the inflated prices. Vlad, hi Jake. What are your favorite news websites that you use? Just Google News. Google News takes me everywhere. I get a variety of sources. I don't have any go-to sites. You know, obviously for financial news, I just go to CNBC, Yahoo Finance, Seeking Alpha. Is Kathy Wood as crazy as I think she is? No, I don't think Kathy Wood is doing anything wrong. I think that if people want to just mimic her trades, it artificially makes her look good. You know, when you buy something and then you announce you bought it and then everybody else buys it, you look like a genius. I mean, she's doing what she thinks is best for her clients in her funds, but I mean, she has a different approach. It, and I think a large part of her success has been people basically just buying whatever she buys. Would you invest in owning actual Airbnbs if you're willing to put in the work? Yeah, there's lots of people. M- y- it depends it depends on if you own that property and how. I don't know. Airbnb is interesting, but there's lots of people that make good money with it. Pedro, thanks for all your videos. Thank you, Pedro. Alex, Reuters and AP are pretty good. Well, they try and stay as neutral as they can. Adam, how aggressive are you in your trading? I feel like a single good move is better than 5 mediocre moves. I'm pretty darn aggressive. You know, I do basically the most high risk form of options trading. I don't trade like weekly options that are out of the money. I'm not like scratch off ticket, aggressive, but what I do would be labeled pretty aggressive. Hey Andrew, good to see you. Have you ever thought about owning property and renting out? Yeah, if I can ever get there. I'm 37 and I've never been a homeowner, so I just haven't had the opportunity. But if I could buy a property, live there for a couple years, and then maybe jump to a bigger or nicer place, yeah, keep the old one, rent it out. Got to get there though. I like your more controversial videos and seeing people get triggered. Yeah, it's very entertaining to me also when people get upset about my content. It don't matter. What music do you listen to? I'm not a big music guy. You know, my music tastes haven't really changed since college when I liked Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters. As far as sports, NFL fan, I follow the Green Bay Packers. Have you ever bet on NFL games? No, I haven't. Well, maybe someday. I'm not opposed to it. I just have never done it. Okay, guys, 9:30. I've been doing this for an hour and a half. If you've been watching, I greatly appreciate it. We still have 190 people on the live stream, so give your all self applause. I greatly appreciate it. Do you watch Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays? Is that like a podcast? All right, thanks you guys. We're gonna end it. Have a good night. Take care.